Kindly just give a chart, Shepherd. And okay, for me, all videos are same. For Shepherd also, it's not no issues for him. Vinu also no issues. Jacob also no issues. I mean, only Kirti is having some issues, right? So for me, all the videos are saying it's not working. I have shared only one that you have sent in a separate link is working for me. Fine, okay. Because the message that you're sending is not to me. I think it's to another staff. Okay, that's right. So anyway, I will just check with him and let me see. Let me see whether I can view a private mail. Okay? So sort it out. Okay. So today, last day we were dealing with some duck sizing different methods. We were discussing about different duck sizing methods, right? Like equal friction, velocity reduction, static regain method. We were just discussing about it. And I said that today we'll be having some manual calculations, how to find the duct size using these three methods. We won't be using all these three methods. Any one or two methods we'll be seeing it. Okay. And practically we won't use any of these three methods manually. We have software. So basically we will go with the software only. So don't worry about that. But still, yeah, as an engineer, you should be able to know how you are calculating what are the formulas that is involved in it. Okay. So here in manual calculations, we'll be using some formulas. The formulas, as well as we will be uh, looking the tabular column. Tabular column means there are graphs. Okay. So in order to convert the rectangular duct to square, I mean circular duct or circular duct to rectangular duct, we have uh, tabular columns or graphs we have. And then we will be choosing the correct size. So we will be using formulas as well as we will be using tabular columns to find out the duct sizes in manual calculation. So listen carefully, like in practical way, we use software, but we can size the duct manually also. Right. So when you're using manually or when you're finding manually, we'll be having its formulas and we have to look its tabular columns also. Okay, to find out. Before that, uh, I said that we'll be having a sample problem related to clean up sizing. Okay. So initially, what I'm trying to do is that I will try to solve a problem how to calculate the plenum size. Okay. So plenum is a box. That's all. Okay, it's a box. We need to find the width, height, and width, length, and its height. Okay, to calculate the size of that box. Right. This plenum box is nothing but it will be kept in between the ducts. And where we are keeping is that where there are many branches and where there are many vibrations or noise, of course, we'll be assuming or we'll be detecting that on the duct or on the duct one. We'll be recognizing that, okay, this area might be the place where it produces more vibrations or noises because many branch duct is been going, okay, from that main duct. So we can place that uh, uh, cleanup box in between that. Not only that, then two indoor units. Okay, two indoor units can be connected with a cleanup box, and you can give a single duct. You have two indoor units, one indoor unit here, one indoor unit here. So you should have two ducts, right? You should have two ducts. So you can connect these two ducts and you can give this two duct to a cleanup box. From cleanup box, you can take a single connection. That is also possible. Understood? So that is also helpful. So next we can go to plenum sizing, right? So I will share my screen. So write today's date with the day 8, right? Day 8, right? Day 8 with today's date. And we are continuing our class. So today we will be dealing with both plenum sizing as well as duct sizing also. So initially you write plenum sizing or plenum, whatever it may be. So this is supply plenum. Okay, write today's date, day 8. And this is supply plenum. And you can see different connections. See, one supply is going through this, another supply is going through this. You can take different one another branch you can take through this also, no problem. Okay. So first you listen, then you just write it. Okay. I will just explain this, then you write it. You have a volume control damper. So to control the volume of the air, this is the supply. Air is supplied. Okay. So we have to size the uh, dimension of this plenum, supply plenum. That will know the length, width, and the height. So what do you mean by plenum? Plenum is used to convert turbulent flow to laminar flow. Turbulent, you know, it is the vibrating. It will be going in irregular shape. Laminar means a smooth flow, a steady flow. So plenum is used to convert turbulent flow to laminar flow, which means that in order to have a smooth flow through the duct, we could place a plenum box where there are many branches coming together. In between that, we can place a plenum box so that the air will be uniformly distributed without making much noise, so that the flow also will be distributed smoothly. Okay, it is to distribute the air by using plenum. Noise will also reduce. So these are the main, use of this plenum box. Okay, so from plenum box you can take different branch ducts, supply ducts. Okay, so this is the plenum box. So we have to calculate the size of the plenum box, and these are the different branches. Many branches also can, uh, taken from this plenum box. And plenum is used to convert, turbulent flow to a laminar flow. It is to distribute the air properly, and plenum, by the help of plenum, we could able to reduce its noise also. Okay, so write plenum designing, and you can draw this plenum. Okay, and you can write what is plenum, what is the purpose of plenum, why we are using plenum. Also, you can write this. Then we can see how to calculate. Once you finish, give a thumbs up. Okay. So you can see this plenum designing. This is the side view and the top view of indoor unit and how it is being connected to a plenum box. First, you just see from the top, that will be better. From the top, this is the IDU, indoor unit, and you'll be having a flexible connection. So this is a rigid body, and this is also a rigid body. So air is passing through that. So initially, we'll be joining this board with a flexible connection only. Okay, or you could call it as a canvas connection also. Sometimes they may call it as canvas connection or flexible connection. You can call whatever it might be. So it will be connected to a flexible connection. This is the plenum box. We need to know the width, we need to know the height, we need to know the depth. Depth, height, and width we have to know it. These are the supply duct. One supply duct is going to this way, and another supply duct is going to this way. This is the top view. Okay, this is the top view. Now coming to the side view. Okay, when you are seeing from when you are seeing this indoor unit from the side, you could see like this. This is the flexible connection. This brown is when you are looking from this side, you will be seeing like this flexible connection. This box is this one, and you can see an X sign. That is this one. This supply duct. This means that it is coming towards my side. Okay, that's why it is shown in X. So when you are seeing from the top, you could see like this. You are seeing from the side, you won't be able to see this now. So you'll be able to see the somewhat like this only. Okay. Now this is the supply, and when you are looking from the side, it will be like this. So we need to know the height, we need to know the depth, and we need to know the width. Now let's see how. Just listen here carefully, then only you'll be able to understand. Okay, then you can write. Now, generally for low velocity application, velocity of plenum is 800 fpm. So normally the flow, the speed of this, the velocity in the plenum will be normally 800 fpm. Okay, feet per minute. So assume the velocity is 800 fpm. Now, depth of the plenum. So first we are going to find out the depth. The depth of the plenum is 2.5 times of the blower diameter. So when you are buying an indoor unit, you will be able to know the diameter of the blower of the indoor unit. Okay, from the catalog, or you can ask for their specification. So you will be knowing the diameter of the blower because inside the indoor unit you will be having a blower. So usually the depth of the or this length or this depth of the plenum box will be 2.5 into blower diameter. Okay. According to the capacity of indoor unit, the blower diameter changes. Okay. The diameter of the blower changes according to different capacities. Different blower diameter will be there. So when you are calculating the depth, you just multiply with 2.5 of the blower diameter. You will be getting the depth of the plenum. So first we have solved. Next we have to find the height and the width. Okay. Now, we know the formula Q is equal to A into V that we already know. Okay. So, again, we can write it as Q is equal to W into H into V. Instead of A, you could write width into height because it's a rectangle or cuboid, whatever you can call it. So, the area of this will be width into height. So, instead of A, you can write width into H into V. So W is equal to width of the plenum, H is equal to height of the plenum, V is the velocity in FPF, Q is the airflow in CFM. So for example, we are taking this indoor unit as 8.5 ton. The capacity of this AC is 8.5 ton. We assume it. Okay. Now here we have to assume the height. Okay, we have to give a height. We have to assume a height. We might be knowing the supply air dimension of the duct, this duct. So here we have to assume any height. You can assume whatever height you want. Okay. So assume H as 1.5 feet. So we have already got this depth just by multiplying blower diameter with this 2.5. Blower diameter you will be getting from the catalog. You will be getting from the specifications. Okay, fine. Now, what you have to do is that you have to assume anything. You have to assume this height. Just for example, give 1.5 feet as the height. Okay. So equate in this formula. Q is equal to A into V. From 8.5 ton, you might be getting around 3,400 CFM. That also you'll be getting from the catalog. All those are input values only, or all those are output values only. We'll be already getting. What we are trying to do now is we are trying to design the plenum only. We might be knowing the ton of the air conditioner. We will be knowing the CFM of the air conditioner. Every value we will be already knowing it. From that non-value only we will be sizing the plenum box. So we will be knowing the CFM. We will be knowing what will be the ton of the air conditioner. Everything we will be knowing. We will be knowing the blower diameter also. Okay, so when we know the blower diameter, just multiply with 2.5, we will be getting the depth of the plenum. 5. Height of the plenum, you have to assume it. Okay, so the second part is also over. Now the rest part is that we have to find the width of this. So to find out the width, you just equate in this formula. Q is equal to A into V. Q you might be knowing it already, 3,400 CFM. From 8.5 ton, it produces 3,400 CFM. Okay, and A into V, we are already assuming as 800 FPM, right? So from here, you could write 3,400 is equal to area into 800. We are repeating in this formula. Area means width into height, correct? So height we already know. We have assumed as 1.5 feet. So width into 1.5 into 800. So from if you are equating here, you will be getting the width also. 3,400 divided by 800 into 1.5, you got 2.83 feet. So you got width, you got height. Now depth. But I have already said 2.5 into blower diameter. So blower diameter, you take it as 11 inch. Okay, you'll be getting from the catalog. So, or you have to ask the manufacturer what will be the blower diameter. They will be giving you. So 2.5 into 11 is equal to 27.5 inches. So 11 inches is the blower diameter for 8.5 ton. So you'll be getting the width, you'll be getting the height, and you'll be getting the depth of the plenum box. So it's very simple. So this is the way that you will be finding out the size of the plenum. Height, you will be assuming it. Multiply 2.5 with the blower diameter, you'll be getting the depth. And for finding out the width, equate in this formula. Q is equal to A into V. You might be knowing Q, you will be knowing V, and you will be knowing in order to know A, width into height. You will be knowing height. From that, you will be getting width also. So width is founded, depth is founded, and height is also founded. So you can write this. You have to draw also, okay? Also complete, you can give a thumbs up. Okay. I believe that you have finished. So, so today we are going to see about the designing of that by the help of manual method, by the help of a manual method. So we'll be studying about the equal friction method, velocity reduction method, and static relay method, in which basically we'll be dealing with only the first two methods. Rest I will give you the formula. That's fine. Okay. Now, I will just show you my notes, and you have to just write the heading duct design, or duct sizing, whatever it may. Write really duct sizing. And first we are going to deal with equal friction method. Okay, write equal friction method, equations involved. Equal friction methods, equations involved. The first equation is the same equation that we have used just now. Q is equal to A into V. I'll show you my notes. Okay. I think you can see my notes. Okay, what I have written. Q is equal to A into V. Q is the discharge in CFM. A is the area in feet square. V is the velocity in FPM. And A equal to pi by 4. D E square. Okay. D suffix E. And D is equal to equivalent diameter in feet. Write this. I think you can see this. This is D suffix I. Sorry, D suffix E. A, B, C, D, E. So, right, this is the first formula that we will be using to find out the uh, duct size. So keep in mind that the first method that we are going to find is equal friction method, okay? Because here we have to find the frictional loss. So when we get the friction loss, we will be keeping that friction loss constant. Okay. So write this formula, and the second formula is equal to FL, means friction loss equal to 0.109,316 into Q raised to 1 by 9 divided by DI. Okay, don't write DE, write DI. DI raised to 5.02. 0.109316 into Q raised to 1.9 divided by DI raised to 5.02. The value that will be obtaining here will be inches in water column, okay, or inches in 100 feet of water column, or water column per 100 feet, inches of water column per 100 feet, okay. So what is this happen? Friction loss in inches of water column in by 100 feet. That is the unit. Q means discharge in CFM. DI means diameter in inches. This is right. This as DI. Okay. Don't confuse this. Write this DI and write this as DE. Okay. Once you finish this, we can write a problem. This is the 5-ton indoor unit which produces 2000 CFM. Okay. Assume this as a duct. This is a duct, main duct. These are the branch duct, and assume this has different rooms. Different rooms. Okay. These are different rooms. Okay. So 2000 CFM is passing through this main duct. So a 400 CFM is passing, is being given to this room. Okay, a 400 CFM will be given to this room, 400 CFM to this room, 400 CFM to this room, 400 CFM to this room. Okay, this is the indoor unit. It's 5 ton is the capacity. It produces 2000 cubic feet per minute CFM. So this CFM is passed through this duct, and individually it has been splitted and it has been given to individual rooms. So here 400, 400, 400, 400, 400. So 400 each rooms for 5 different rooms. So total it will be 5 4 20, 2000 CFM. So in right, this has different nodes: node A, node B, node C, node D, and node E. So we are going to find out the duct size of this A, B, C, D, E. What will be the duct size of node A, node B, node C, node D, and node E? We are going to find out that. So you know that 2000 CFM will be passing through this node A. What will be this CFM which will be passing through node B? How much will be the CFM which passes through node B? The CFM which passes through node B will be 1600, because already this 400 CFM is being passed through this road. So here you will be getting 2000 minus 400, 1600. So again a 400 CFM will be passing through this. So here at node C, you will be getting 1200 CFM. Again, a 400 CFM will be passing through this. You will be getting 800 CFM. Rest you will be having 400 CFM. That 400 CFM will be going to the last row. Understood? Okay. So draw this. Draw this. This is our question. So we are going to find the duct size of A, B, C, D, and E. What will be the duct size? Okay. I believe that you have written this, drawn this, right? Just give a thumbs up. So I'm explaining once more. 5 ton, 2000 CFM, 400 will be passing through each room. Okay. So here you will be already having 2000 CFM, here 1600, 2200, 800, then plus 400. Okay. Now you have to draw a tabular column in which I will say what to draw, okay, or what you have to write. You have to write this much column: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have to draw 7 columns. You have to write this thing: node, discharge, velocity, friction loss, duct dia in feet, duct area in feet square, duct size in inches. And you know node A, B, C, D, E. There are A, B, C, D, and E node are there. So write that also: node A, B, C, D, and E. And you know that through node A, 2000 CFM will be going, node B, 1600 will be going, 1200 will be going, 800 will be going, 400 will be going. So do one thing, don't write any other values in your tabular column. What you have to do is draw 7 columns, write the first, row, all these things, and uh, complete this first 2 columns also. Not as well as discharge. Rest we have to find it out. Okay. Node, discharge, velocity, friction loss, duct dia in feet, duct area in feet square, duct size in inches. Complete these 2 columns also. One. Okay. Now we have formulas, right? We have formulas to find the friction loss. Or in order to find the CFM, we have CFM. We have 2 formulas. Q is equal to A into V, and we have the formula of frictional loss. We are using only these 2 formulas, right? So first you write calculation at node A, right? Calculation at node A. We are going to find the duct size of node A. So write there calculation at node A, and write that 2 formulas over there. FL and Q, the 2 formulas. You just write the 2 formulas. FL is equal to 0.109316, that formula, as well as Q is equal to 8 to V. Write that 2 formula. So from that two formula, would you be able to find anything else like area or friction loss or something like that? So you have a formula Q is equal to A into V, right? You have Q is equal to A into V. So you know Q. How much is Q? 2000 CFM, correct? You don't know the area of the duct and you don't know the velocity. Velocity of the duct, you could get it from our tabular column that we have already seen yesterday. This tabular column. So here you assume any application. For example, here you assume this is a private office or a library or a director's room. Take this option. For example, as we are just assuming it. So in this we are seeing the main duct. Okay, main duct, it is supply duct. And the controlling factor you take it as duct friction because we are equal friction method. So what will be the velocity? This is the velocity in ducts. So we are choosing private offices, directors, rooms, libraries, this application. And we are seeing the supply main duct, right? So what will be the velocity that we will be choosing from here? What will be the velocity that we will be choosing from here? Is 1400 CFM. Alright? This 1400 CFM. Here we have chosen private offices, directors' room, and libraries here. Okay, we are dealing with main supply duct. So here we have chosen the velocity as 1400. So you have to give 1400 CFM as the velocity. Because we have assumed it as a private office or a director's room or whatever it may be. We have assumed it as a private office. We are deciding for a private office. Okay, different offices are there, right? Different cabins are there. So we have given 400 CFM to each rooms. So here we have chosen as private offices. So the velocity will be 1400. Sorry, 1400. 1 second. We will be choosing from this. You know, I think you haven't seen this thing, right? Okay. So the application we are choosing here is private offices. Okay. These are the different applications. This is the private offices, directors' room, and libraries. In this is our main duct, and this is our supply. So here we have chosen 1400 as the velocity. Understood? Because why? Because we have assumed our example as a private office. So we need a velocity. Initially, we need a velocity. So what will be the velocity that we'll be choosing? That we'll be choosing from this tabular column. So here we have assumed it as a private offices as an application. From that, we choose our supply main duct. The velocity which is given here is 1400. So we have given 1400 here as the velocity. So now you have to do one thing is that find the you have Q and you have V. From that you will be able to know area. Q is equal to A into V, right? So you know Q and you know V. From that you will be finding the area. You could find the duct area in feet square. Correct? Okay, you will be able to know the duct area in feet square. From duct area, would you be able to find the diameter of the duct? Yeah, if you got area, you could be able to find the diameter. How? Area equal to pi by 4 d e square. Okay, d square, pi by 4 d square. You're getting what I'm saying, right? So initially you have Q is equal to A into D. So you know Q, that is 2000, you know D, that is 1400. From this two, you will be getting area in feet square. So when you get feet square as the area, you could be easily able to find out the diameter because area equal to pi by 4 d square. So from that, you will be getting diameter in feet. So that feet has to be converted into inches. Okay. So 1 feet is equal to 12 inches. So just multiply with 12, you will be getting the diameter in inches also. So when you get diameter in inches, substitute in that formula FL equal to. You understand what I'm saying? Because FL equal to 0.109316 into Q raised to 1 by Q raised to 1.9 divided by BI raised to 5.02. So in order to find BI or diameter in inches, you need area. When you get area equal to 5 by 4 d square. Okay, just I will show you, then you have to go by yourself. See, Q is equal to A into V. Q is equal to 2000, V equal to 1400. When you equate this, you will be getting area. When you get area, you just write A equal to pi by 4 d square and you just find out the value d in feet. When you get d in feet, 1 feet equal to 12 inches. Multiply with 12, you will be getting in diameter in inches. When you get this diameter in inches, substitute in this formula and you will be getting the frictional loss. Understand what I am saying? You have two formulas. Q is equal to A into V and this friction loss. From here you got Q and you got V. From there you will be getting area. You get area formula is 5 by 4 d square. So you will be getting d in feet. So here the diameter is in inches in this formula. So convert the feet into inches by multiplying with 12 because 1 feet equal to 12 inches. So you will be getting the value. Then from that equate in this formula and find out the friction loss. Just try it out. Just try it. And just see whether you are getting this 0.17 as the friction loss and duct dia is 1.34 and duct area 1.4. Just see. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Just try. If you get the answer, just give a thumbs up, okay? Or if you have any doubt, you can just in the chat also. I think it's very easy. Two formulas, Q is equal to A into V, in which you know Q, you know D, then find the area. The formula of area is equal to pi by 4 d square. From that you find D. The D you will be getting in feet. That feet you convert it into inches by multiplying it into 12. When you get diameter in inches, you just equate it in the FL equation and you get the value of friction loss. That's all. Any difficulty in solving the answer, just let me know. Just don't copy simply. Just I want to see whether you are able to write it. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if you get 0.17 as the friction loss, the method that we are using here is equal friction method, right? So if you are using equal friction method, we have to give the friction loss constant for all other nuts. So here we got 0.17 as the friction loss. So what you have to do, directly you give 0.17 for all other nodes, A, B, C, D, E. So what do one thing, give 0.7 for every other nodes in your tabular form. Because it's the method that we are using here is equal friction method. So we got friction loss 0.17. So do one thing, give 0.17 for all other nodes directly. Okay, so you have got that. So you can fill in your tabular column like 1.34 you already got, 1.4 you got. Next you need duct size, right? Duct size we have to get it from the tabular column or a graph that we could do last. First what you have to do is that find all other values like this. Okay. So what you have to do is first we have complete this much 0.17 we got already 0.17, right? So you write, since this is an equal friction method, we assume the friction to be equal all over the duct. That's why we have given 0.17 for all other node. So you can write this, since this is an equal friction method, that's why we are giving 0.17 constant for all other node. Node A, node B, node C, node E, like that. Now the same method, you do it for node B. Here what you have to do is that we have already got the friction loss. We know the Q also. We know the friction loss and we know the Q. So what you have to do is that you have to find the velocity here. You understood what I am saying? Here the friction loss is taken as 0.17. So now you have to reverse it. Okay? Initially equate this in first equation or the second equation. You already got 0.17 as the friction loss. So give the 0.17 in this equation and you get di value. You get di in inches. So in order to convert into feet, you just divide by 12. So you will be getting diameter in feet. When you get diameter in feet, easily you could find the area, pi by 4 d square. So you got area. When you get area, you could find the velocity also. Now you are reversing it. Initially, you are not you knew Q and B, which means discharge and velocity. In the second step, you know the discharge and the frictional loss. If you know the discharge and the friction loss, you could easily find the area and the diameter and the velocity. Now you reverse it and find the answer. First you equate in this equation, give the 0.17 in this equation and find the di value. When you get the di in inches, convert it into feet. When you get the diameter in feet, find the area, A equal to pi by 4 d square. Then you get area. When you get the area, equate in the equation Q is equal to A into B. Q you know, A you know, from that you find the B. And see whether you are getting this answer or not. Whether you are getting velocity and duct area and duct diameter. Find it out. Now you are reversing it. Any confusions or any difficulty, you can ask me. Just give a chat. I don't know, or please send me, or you can just ask something. It is very easy, yeah. Now you are reversing it. Simple maths. And the same way you find it for node B, node C, node D, and node E. The same method. Explore this thing. Last we can find the duct size. Every other you can find it out. Just write the value that you got. Okay. Don't copy from here. This sometimes might be wrong. Just write your answer and just show me what is the answer that you are getting. Vinu is saying that he is not getting the answer. Which one you are not getting, Vinu? 0.17 not 0.17. Yeah, 0.17. It is di raised to 5.02, right? Di raised to 5.02, in which you have to find di. So di raised to di raised to 5.02 is some value, correct? So in order to find di, what do you have to do? That value raised to 1 by 5.02. That value di raised to 5.02, you will be getting a value, right? So in order to get d type, what you have to do is that value raised to 1 by 5.02, you will be getting the answer. Calculation of node D. FL equal to this, right? So here D will be going to this side and 0.17 will be coming to this side, and you will be getting an answer for this, right? So DE raised to 5.02, you will be getting an answer. So DE equal to this answer divided raised to 1 by 5.02. You will be getting 14.9 inches as the answer. Just see whether you are getting the answer or not. What about others? Jacob, Shepherd, Kirti, and all. Are you getting this answer 14.9 inches? Are you getting this answer 14.9? You will get the answer, okay? Just do one thing. 0.109316 into what? Just see what is the answer. 1600 raised to 1.9. What is the answer? You find it out, and you just find this divided by 1.7. You just will be getting an answer. Okay, that answer raised to 1 by 5.02. All right, 1 by 5.02 is what is the answer. Then give its exponent. I want to see whether rest of them are getting this answer or not. 14.9 inches. You will get this answer. Let's try once more. dia is not getting properly. What Kirti says. What is the dia that you get? Just see what if you are taking root of 5.02. I don't know whether we'll be getting that answer or not. Just do as I said, like the answer raised to 1 by 5.02. 1 by 5.02 should be in a bracket, okay? Otherwise, you won't get the answer. Let's see. Okay. 787159. 787159. Let's see, okay. I got the answer 14.94. Can you see this? Within 15 seconds, I got the answer. What is the problem with you? Please. Is there any difficulty, guys? No. So the same way you find it for similar way you find it for node B, node C, node D, and node E. Okay. We are reversing it. We got DI, now change to feet by divide by 12. We got the answer. From there you will be getting 2 is equal to A into V, 1600 is equal to 1.2 into velocity. From there you will be getting velocity as 133.33 FPM. Whether you are getting this, and when you are writing in the tabular column, round it and write it, okay? If you get 1333, you just round it and write 1350. Get 133.3, you just round it and write 1350 FPM. The same way you find it for calculation at node C, node D, and node E. When you find for node C, let me know, and you can write node D and node E as homework. Okay, and we could jump to the next, method. It's already 11:20. See what is it. Just see whether the answer is getting correct or not. For node C, are you getting this answer? Just let me know. Any doubts? Let me know. Okay. Can do the same method as we have did for node B. Equate in the friction loss equation. Find out D value in inches, then convert it into feet, then give it in the formula A equal to pi by 4 d square and find the area. If you find the area, equate in the equation Q is equal to A into B, you know Q and you know A, and from there you find B. That's all. Once you complete node C, we could go to the next method. Okay. If you finish node C, D and E will go home and finish it. Tomorrow I will ask you about that. It's not necessary that you need to get this answer itself. Okay, if there is some point difference, let me know. Right? What you got? Okay. Calculation at node C. You'll be getting in inches. Feet you'll be getting in 1.11 area and this. So complete this. Let me know. Vinay is asking, can you repeat the calculation in calculator of 5.02 conversion? Yeah, the same way what you have shown. Raised to 1 divided by 5.02 in bracket. You'll be getting an answer. So take this BE raised to 5.0 to the side and bring this 0.17 to downwards. Let's do one thing. Do 1200 raised to 1.9. You just see what is that answer. 1200 raised to 1.9. What is that answer? And you get that answer, multiply with this 0.10, then divided with 0.17. Okay. Okay. You want to see in calculator. Okay. 1200 raised to 1.9. This is the value. Multiply with 0.1093 0.16. Let this value divided by 0.17. We will be getting this value raised to 1 divided by 5.2. 13.4. That's what you got, 13.4 inches. You'll be getting the value in inches. Now you have to convert it into feet by divided by 12. Do anyone have any issue in getting the DI value, diameter in inches? Anyone else? You are getting this 13.4, right? Yeah. And from there, you just find D value, then find A, then find B. And round it and write 1250. Once you complete till this much, okay. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, once you complete this much 1250, just equate and just insert here, okay, in this tabular column. And you got the diameter. You got the diameter of the duct. If it's a round duct, you can change. You can choose this 1.34, 1.24, 1.11. So to convert this diameter into a rectangular duct, we have a tabular column. So if it was a round duct, this would be enough. This value would be enough. So if you are dealing with a rectangular duct, we have to see 1.34 dia means how much width into height. What will be the dimension of the rectangular one? Just to convert this diameter into rectangular duct. So do one thing. I will show you the duct size also. Then we can deal with the another topic. So here duct size is we have to see in inches. Okay. So what we have to do is that we need to know the duct size in inches. What was our duct size in inches in node A? Duct size in inch. It was 16.08, right? Node A. Diameter in inches. It was 16.08, right? Correct. So we are going to find the dimension of the rectangular duct. We already got the round duct diameter. Now we are going to convert the diameter into rectangular duct dimension. So to find out the rectangular duct dimension, we have to know the diameter in inches. Okay. Don't forget, we have to take the diameter only in inches. Then only we'll be getting the answer. Otherwise, you won't get the answer. Okay. So if you want to write, we can write diameter in inches. Take DI value in inches. Right somewhere here. Take DI value in inches. So let's see. Yeah, this is the tabular column. Okay. Can you see this tabular column? Yeah. What is our diameter in inches? 16.08, right? So you have to see whether 16.08 is there or not in this tabular column. Just see. So here this circular equivalent of rectangular ducts. Circular equivalents of rectangular ducts. So we know 16.08 is the circular duct diameter. Now we are going to find the rectangular duct dimension. So what is our circular duct diameter? 16.08. So we are going to see whether 16.08 or closer to that number is coming or not. Okay. So 16 point, no, it is 15.9, then it comes to 16.2. We can look the next one. Yeah, 16.1 is there, close to 16.08. So when you are choosing the rectangular duct, let's see, it is 36 into 7. That is the dimension of the rectangular duct. For 16.08 or 16.1, the dimension of the rectangular duct is 36 into 7. So 36 into 7 means there is a great, the aspect ratio is more than 1.4. So what we have to do is that we have to make the aspect ratio closer. Best aspect ratio is 1:1. So what we have to do? Next, go for the next one. 16 point, yeah, here 16.1 is there. It is 30 into 8. That is also, the difference is 5. 8 and 30. Okay. This is in inches, okay, dimension in inches. This is the side of the rectangular duct. This is also side of the rectangular duct. Dimension is in inches. Now, another 16.08. 15, 15. After 15, after 15.6, it is 16.2. So leave that. Then go to the next column. 15.9 is there. Okay. Leave that. After that, it is 16.6. Then 14, 15, 15, 16. No, leave it. 13, 16 is there. Right, 16 is there. But still 16.08, this is closer, right? 16.1 is closer, right? So better you choose 16.1 is there. So better you choose 17 into 13. 17 into 13 is the rectangular duct dimension, because this is the more closer one. If you are going to the next column, there is no 16.08 near value. If it is 16.8, then it comes to 16.3. So the better you choose this one, 16.1. So here the duct dimension will be 17 into 30. So right there, 17 into 30. 17 into 30. So here I have written as 18 into 12. That is not correct. Write 17 into 30. So what will be the value of the second one? What is the diameter in inches for node B? Diameter of inches in node B. What will be the answer? What's the diameter of? Just give a chat. What is the diameter in inches in node B? Diameter in inches in node B. You got diameter in feet. What do you got the diameter in inches in node B? What is the answer? Yeah, 14.9. 14.9 or 14.7 plus 14.7 or 14.9. What about other guys? Kirti got 14.9. So, sorry. 1 second, please. Yeah, correct. 14.9. 14.9. Yes. 14.9. So let's see 14.9. You choose what will be the answer. You choose 14.9. Choose from this. I'm not saying. Choose from this 14.9. There is 14.9. You have to choose from that 14.9 itself only. Okay. 17 into 11. Into is saying 17 into 11. 17 into 11. Okay. Yeah. 17 into 11. Correct. Others also, you can understand it, right? So here we got 14.9. So here is 17 into 11. So right, 17 into 11. Yeah, 17 into 11. So for node C and node D and node E and all, you find it out. The next day we could find the duct size. Okay. Now we are going to the next step. Next method. It just leaves 2 or 3 pages for that to complete today's topic in node E. Next we are dealing with velocity reduction method. Velocity reduction method. So here also same thing only. Consider the above same design as also the same formula are used. So here also we are using the same formula. Okay, we are using the same method also, velocity reduction method. Here we are reducing the velocity. See, the friction loss is different here. Initially, the friction loss was same in the first method. Here the friction loss is different. So here what we are doing is that we are reducing the velocity according to our wish. That's what I said. We need a broad background knowledge to design this duct. Okay. So we can write this velocity reduction method, and we can write consider the above same design and also same formula are used, and you can write this two formula, and you can write the same tabular column also: node, discharge velocity, frictional loss, duct dia, duct area, and duct size, and complete this to node A and discharge, node and discharge. The same tabular column we are used here. The only difference that we are using here is that we are changing the velocity. We will be knowing the initial velocity that will be same as that of the previous step. 1400, 0.17, 1.34, 1.4. What is the dimension that you got that you write there? It was 17 into 11, something like that. Here what we have to do is that it is a velocity reduction method. So we are assuming a reduced velocity here. See here, we are assuming and giving here, okay? So 1400 we have reduced to 1350, then 1300, 1100, 1250 and 1200. We have reduced according to our need. So you can see here, I have reduced 50, 50, 50, 50 velocity, 50 FPM here, reduced here. I have reduced 50 FPM here. I have reduced 50 FPM here. I have reduced 50 FPM here. I have reduced the velocity. From this, I could get the friction loss duct dia, duct area, and duct size. Everything is same method, but everything is same way that we are calculating. The formulas are same, but different methods. You can write, consider the above same design and same formula are used. This first row will be same, okay, as that of the previous question. Complete this two columns. These three columns you can complete. First, you have to find it out by using the same formula that we have used before. Any doubts you can ask me. Calculation of node, you can write calculation is done same as the previous question. So this will be same 2000, 1400, 0.17, 1.34, 1.4, and that size will be same. What was the that size that you have written there? 17 into 11, right? That. Now calculation at node B, here velocity is reduced to 1350. That we are assuming and we are reducing it. So equate in this formula. You know Q and you know V, and you will be getting area. You get area, you will be getting diameter in feet. When you get diameter in feet, you can convert it into inches. When you get in inches, you can equate in this FL formula and you could get the frictional loss and substitute it in this. Okay. So tomorrow's homework is equal friction method as well as velocity reduction method. Find it for node B, node C, node D, and node E. Any doubts you can ask. It's very simple one only. If you have any difficulty in answering this, you can let me know. What about Jacob? Is it? Is there any difficulty for Jacob? Okay. Here it won't be 3.15 by R. I didn't get you, Hrithik. Only 3.15 by R in a sense. 3.14. Yeah, here it is. When you get the area, you pi by 4 d square, 3.14 by 4 into d square. Is there any doubt in that? It's not 3.14 by r, it is 3.14 by 4. Pi by 4 d square, right? Area equal to pi by 4 d square. So pi is equal to 3.14 by 4 into d square. All the steps are equal, similar. From there you can find it out. So do one thing, complete this also, okay? Except you won't be able to, I think you will be able to answer this also. Do one thing, take a screenshot of this and find the answer, okay? Take a screenshot of this and find the answer. Or you can go to the video also. You pause it and you can find the answer. So velocity reduction method and equal friction method, you have to find the answer for all these things. And static regain method, only formula I will be asking you to write. That's fine because practically we are not doing it manual method. We are using only the practical method. So don't worry about that. Okay. But still, to get an deep understanding about how we are sizing the nut, we have to go with the manual calculation also. That's why I am giving it. Okay. So, is there any doubt regarding today's topic? You can just give a chat. Is there any doubt regarding today's topic? Okay. Okay. You just try doing this, and if there is any doubt, we could discuss tomorrow also, if possible. Okay. So try to finish it by today itself. Velocity for high velocity application in plenum. Mainly, we have already seen that now. 1800 like that. To give 1800 or 1500 FPM also no issue. Yeah, it was set 800 for low velocity. Yeah, for high velocity, you can give 1500 or 1800. No problem. I have already just said about that. Velocity in Lux, low velocity is 800 to 1600 fpm, and high velocity should be above 1800. I already said that. Okay. For high velocity, you just give 1800 fpm. Mostly low velocity application only will be dealing. With. So, is there anything else? Anything else? Today's topic is pretty easy, no? No problem. Just some calculations. That's all. The mathematics. That's all, right? So, if you don't have any doubt, just give a thumbs up, and we could wind it up now. Okay. Right. So, thank you, students. Thank you so much. So, just go through today's topic and complete it today itself. Okay, velocity reduction method and equal friction method. Okay, one more method is that we could just write some formulas and we could start the new topic. Okay. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.